Hello and welcome to the marvellous show Game of Thrones. If you've never watched it before, I'm your host Steve, and it's a react show to the Game of Thrones because I'm in a lockdown, so I've got nothing else to do, so I thought let's watch Game of Thrones. Never seen it before and it's absolutely blowing my mind. I love it to bits. The last episode we watched was season 4 episode 6, which was the Laws of Gods and Men. So firstly we saw Stannis and Davos in Bravos at the gold bank and trying to get a loan basically, and Stannis got turned down flat, and then Davos had his little word. I don't know what he said because it wasn't clear what he said, but he somehow managed to change their minds, and so they've got the money now, so it's all go for them now. So I guess they're going to get an army together, which should be quite interesting. Hopefully we're going to see, if not in this episode, then the next one, them starting to build like an army again, I guess. And we saw one of Dany's dragons getting a little bit out of control, managed to torch a load of goats in a field. And the goat herder brought one of the corpses of the goats in front of Dany to sort of explain that dragons had just basically torched his money, his livelihood, and she offered him 3 times the amount that they were worth, so he was quite happy. But then we had one of the sons of the crucified masters come in and plead with her that if he could take his father down. It was a bit embarrassing to begin with because he said, oh, my father designed everything in the city, including the pyramid that we're stood in now. And so Dany went, oh, I'd really love to meet him. And he went, you have met him, he's crucified outside. He managed to convince her that his father wasn't actually, was opposed to the slavery and to the crucifixion of the crucifixion of the children. And so Dany agreed to let him down. Problem is, there was a line of over 200 people waiting after him, which were probably asking the same things again. So I hope that we're going to see this. I guess they're now, Dany's going to be travelling back to Yunkai and these other places where the masters have taken over again. But it's not going to be the same outcome, I don't think, because that wouldn't really make much sense. So I'm kind of dreading what's going to happen because I don't think it's going to be as easy as the first time round. Because you kind of reap what you sow, don't you? And I guess, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's not going to be anything good, put it that way. So I'm slightly dreading that storyline. And again, hopefully I don't know whether we'll get to see it this series, but this season rather. But I'm hoping in the next couple of episodes we kind of get where Dany's going. We saw Yara attempting to rescue Theon, or Reek. That went completely wrong. Completely couldn't have gone much worse, to be honest. Firstly, I remember her saying in a couple of episodes before that she was going to bring 50 of the strongest men. There certainly wasn't 50, it was about 12. So they were completely outnumbered, outgunned. She did get to Theon, but he's so messed up that he didn't want to go. You know, he thought it was a trap. He even, I think, bit her at one point. And then Ramsay turned up, looking all buff, and then proceeded to kick their ass. And Yara managed to run away, get back into the boats, and sort of turn around and say, that's it, you know, my brother's as good as dead, basically. So I was a bit disappointed with, because I thought, you can't give up. You just can't give up. If that was my brother, I certainly wouldn't give up. So I'm guessing, I don't think she's going to go back. And now Theon's been given, or Reek's been given a mission by Ramsay to pretend to be Theon, which is just really weird. And he's got to try and take this castle. Now, I know one of my subscribers did tell me the castle. I've forgotten what it is, but it's not his father's castle. Put it that way. So I'm hoping we'll see. I don't know if we'll see it in this next episode because there's so many storylines going on at the moment. We haven't had the Wildlings in ages. We haven't had the White Walkers in ages. So they've got to cover that at some point as well. But I think certainly by the end of this season we'll definitely see where Theon's going and what all that's about. And we had a meeting of the High Council, and Varys has pointed out that Dany now has a huge army. She's got 3 dragons. She's got 8,000 Unsullied. She's got 2,000 Second Sons. She's really kicking ass now, and so Tywin's given the order to kind of get her assassinated. So in between, this is what I think part of the story is going to be when Dany does go back to Yunkai or wherever it is she's going. She's going to have assassination attempts on her, definitely, I think. So yeah, this is going to be a bit nervy now, I think, for her. So we had the beginning of Tyrion's trial, unless I'm assuming that was just the beginning. I don't think that was the end. It might have been the end, I'm not sure. But everyone was basically against him, which you know knew was going to happen. I was a bit surprised at Varys. He kind of, he was telling the truth, I guess, but then he wasn't telling everything. So that's not technically the truth, is it? When you don't say anything, I don't know how that works. But yeah, we also had there was a stop in the proceedings. They obviously stopped for lunch, and Jaime pleaded to his father to spare Tyrion's life and that he would go to Castle Rock and fulfil his father's destiny and carry on the name and all that. And Tywin agreed immediately, literally immediately. Whether that was a setup for that actually happening, I'm not sure. But yeah, he agreed that he wouldn't sentence Tyrion to death if he sort of when he's found guilty. It's more of a when, not an if. And then obviously Jaime went back into the courtroom, quickly told Tyrion, right, just you're going to get found guilty. As long as you don't kick off, don't lose, don't gob off, don't be stupid, don't react. You're going to get sent to Castle Black to live out your days in the Night Watch, which wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, because he's got a whorehouse just down the road, so he'd have been well happy. But of course, their last witness that they called was Shay. There she was, walked in and completely stitched him up, totally. And I've had quite a few conversations with subscribers about Shay, because it's a bit of a love or hate thing with her. I've never liked her, not from day one, but I do think that it was Tyrion's fault in the first place. He should never have brought her to King's Landing. He knew what was going to happen the minute he did, but I think he was being quite selfish, and he was being very kind of Lannister about it. And I've got all this money, I can sort of afford to buy you, just come to King's Landing, without really thinking it through properly. So I think as soon as his father came back, then it all went wrong, and I think then he realised I shouldn't have done that. So I get both sides of it. Shay thought she was going to have this amazing kind of relationship, which obviously turned sour. So I can kind of see that side of it, but I've just never liked her. I don't think she understood just how much danger she was in. And then even when Tyrion ended it, I think it was quite obvious why he was ending it. He'd been telling her all along that they couldn't. This wasn't gonna. It couldn't happen. And then right at the end, to stitch him up like that in the courtroom was like, nah, don't like her at all. But yeah, anyway, that's my bit over with. So yeah, Tyrion reacted really badly, obviously, when Shay started stitching him up, and he did one of the best outbursts, one of the best scenes that I've seen in a long time, and it was Oscar winning. I tell you, it was absolutely spot on. I absolutely loved that scene. And he just basically said he's glad that Joffrey died. He didn't kill him, but he loved watching him die. And if he had enough poison, he'd give it to every single person in the room. It was brilliant. Class, absolute class. So yeah, that's kind of where we left it on that episode. And right at the very end, Tyrion asked for trial by combat. Now, is it the same thing going to happen with what happened before, when he got Bronn to fight for him? Is he going to ask for Jaime, or does he have to actually fight himself? Because he's not going to win if he fights himself, surely. So I'm hoping he gets Jaime. That's where I see it going anyway, where Jaime is going to stand up and fight for him with his left hand. But yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping it's going to be this episode, but you know what it's like, they kind of sometimes just skip it, don't they? But I'm really hoping that in this episode we see a bit more of this. So before we crack on with the new episode, I'll give you my loves and hates from the past 2 episodes only. So my loves, in third place is Jaime Lannister. I know we had that awkward rape scene, which was really disturbing. It was very out of character as well. It was quite random, and apparently in the books that didn't happen. I think someone told me. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. But since then, he's kind of back on track again, and he really cares for Tyrion in a big way, and he was prepared to lay his whole life down on the line to save him by having to go to Castle Rock, and that was basically going to be his life. And that was purely just to save Tyrion. So for me, Jaime all the way. He's number 3. Number 2 is Jon Snow. He's been coming into it a lot more now, and I used to love Jon when he was first in it. I've not disliked him in any way, but he's kind of gone off the boil a little bit. But now he's coming real back, big time now, and I'm loving his storylines. And him going to Craster's place and kicking that Carl's ass was amazing. I just wish that he'd seen Bran and they'd had some sort of interaction. I don't know, but yeah, Jon's my number 2 this week. And number 1, without any doubt, is Tyrion. Poor guy, man. My heart goes out to him. He's just dug himself. Well, he's dug himself into it, hasn't he? He's just in such a deep, dark place at the moment. He's going to be waiting for an execution, I guess. I don't know. I can't see any other outcome, and we'll find out in this episode coming up. But to me, he's had it now. So I don't know what's going to happen to him now. But yeah, it's just never ending for Tyrion, is it? But I'll be there all the time. I'm team Tyrion. So yeah, Tyrion's my number 1 this week. My hates, number 3. This is going to trigger some people, I think. Number 3 is Shay. I know, like I said before earlier on, it's not all her fault the way things have gone, but to do that to Tyrion, to actually lie, properly lie about him just to get him executed, there's no leeway on that. You know, she has to be in my hates for that, and I'm hoping she's gone now. There's no reason for her to be around anymore. I really hope she's just gone and we don't see her anymore. So yeah, she's my number 3 this week. Number 2 is Carl. It's got to be Carl. What an a-hole, seriously. And I know he's gone now, but that was such an amazing scene as well, where he gets the sword coming out of the mouth, and it's brilliant. But yeah, it was an amazing scene, and yeah, he's pure evil, horrible guy, and now he's out of the way, gone, but he's going to be my number 2 purely because of the last episode. And number 1, without doubt, is Cersei. You know what? I think back to the first ever episode. I don't know if you've actually seen it, but if you've been with me the whole time, and you haven't seen the number 1 yet, the first episode, go back and check out the first episode where Cersei first comes into it, and I'm like, oh, I love her. I hope she's a good guy in this. Yeah. Safe to say she's not a good guy. Like I said before, even if it was proved that Tyrion didn't do it, she wouldn't believe them. She wants him dead, and she's just pure evil. She's just evil. She is the new Joffrey, without a doubt. And you think that hopefully Tommen doesn't end up like Joffrey did, because if he's only got that as a guide, he's got no hope, has he, really? But yeah, Cersei's definitely my number 1. And that is my love and hates for this week. So let's get on with this episode. Also, if you've not subscribed already, please subscribe if you like Game of Thrones. Like, comment, hit the bell, and you'll be made aware whenever I put any content up. Let's crack on with this then. This is episode 7, series 4, Mockingbird. Not quite sure what that means yet. Mockingbird is a bird that repeats. I don't know. Not going to go there. Can't make an idiot of myself. But yeah, this is episode 7, Mockingbird. See you in a bit.
It's not a joke, you understand that, don't you?
Of course it's a joke, just not a very funny one. I couldn't listen to her. Standing there, telling her lies. I couldn't do it. He knows I'm innocent, and he's willing to sacrifice me anyway.
He's willing to sacrifice any of us.
Not you. You're the golden son. You could kill a king, lose a hand, fuck your own sister. You'll always be the golden son.
Careful. I'm the last friend you've got.
Don't give up on me just yet. I survived one trial by combat, even though you weren't there to save me.
I can't save you this time either. My training has proved that I can't beat a stable boy with my left hand.
Oh dear. Let's get Bronn to do it.
Bronn fought for me once, he'll do it again. If he wins, I expect I'll be in his debt for the rest of my life.
If he wins,
will you find him for me? Who does Cersei plan on naming as a champion? I hope it's Samarin Trant. I'd enjoy watching Bronn disembowel that pompous child beater.
No. Not Samarin.
Holy shit. That's the end of Bronn, isn't it? Oh!
Sir Gregor, welcome to the capital. You seem to be in good form.
Who am I fighting?
Does it matter?
What if it had been Jamie? She'd have changed her mind then. Oh, here we go. See if they're getting on a bit better now.
Could be food.
Could be soldiers. You shouldn't be sitting out here like this.
Where else to sit?
That's not going to get better.
Doesn't seem so.
Bad way to go.
Time to go. Take matters into my own hands. Who are you?
My name's Arya. Arya Stark.
Could I have a drink? Dying is thirsty work.
This is horrible.
That's how you kill a man.
Jesus. Whoa.
There's a price on your head.
Yes, that's what the king does when you tell me to fuck off.
The king's dead. He drank poison wine at his own wedding. The bounty on you is for killing Lannister soldiers.
Forgot I didn't know that.
And you thought you were going to collect it.
He told me he'd fuck me bloody with a stick.
This day's really not working out the way you planned. He on your little list?
He can't be. I don't know his name.
What's your name?
Rouge.
Thank you.
So they're getting on a lot better now. Oh, John. He's not going to be happy he's back, is he?
Lord Snow, this is no place for wild beasts. Lock him away. Or I'll let Hob throw him in tonight's stew.
Such a twat.
Muncie's army was closing in on Craster's Keep when we left. We should seal the tunnel, plug it with rocks and ice, flood it and let it freeze.
And how would we range north?
We wouldn't.
Coward!
We can't defend the gate against 100,000 men.
This castle has stood for thousands of years. The Night's Watch has defended her for thousands of years. And in all those centuries, we have never sealed the tunnel.
Have you ever seen a giant, Sir Alistair? The tunnel's gate won't stop them.
Are the stewards responsible for maintaining the tunnel?
Oh, shut up.
First builder Yarwick. Lord Snow here recommends sealing the tunnel. Do you agree with him?
No.
Idiots, aren't they?
My lord.
You have new clothes.
Do you like them? I'm to wed Lollis Stokeworth.
Lawless Stokeworth. Why did you bother to come here?
You once said, if anyone ever asked me to sell you out, you'd double their price.
Is it 2 wives you want, or 2 castles?
One of each you do. If you want me to kill the mountain for you, it better be a damn big castle.
If I emerge from this with my head still on my shoulders, I may one day rule the North in her name. I could carve you out a big piece of it. Does he frighten you so much?
I'd be a bloody fool if he didn't frighten me. He's freakish big and freakish strong. Maybe I could take him. Dance around until he's so tired of hacking at me he dropped his sword. Get him off his feet somehow. But one misstep, and I'm dead. Why should I risk it?
Because you're my friend.
Aye, I'm your friend. When have you ever risked your life for me? I'm sorry it has to be this way.
Why are you sorry?
I can't believe this.
What will you do?
I suppose I'll have to kill the mountain myself.
So it still could be Jamie then, possibly.
How did you get in here?
Your door is well guarded. It's your windows not.
Tell me why you're here.
I only have 2 talents in this world. War and women. Here in Marine, I cannot pursue my talents.
I've ordered the Second Sons to patrol the streets to stop the revenge killings.
You've ordered us to be night.
And as for women, there are thousands in Marine you can pursue.
Send me to kill your enemies. Any enemy, anywhere. Let me do what I do best.
Oh, that bottle is so cool.
Do what you do best. Take off your clothes.
Saucy.
Wants to bring Shireen with us. I think that would be ill-advised. She should stay home.
That is impossible.
She's not going to sacrifice the girl, is she?
When we set sail, your daughter must be with us. The Lord needs her.
Draw the handle.
Are you here to see our queen?
She's in a good mood.
You don't approve?
It's not a question of approval, it's a question of trust. Dario Naharis killed his captains and dumped their heads at your feet when he grew tired of their commands. How could you ever have faith in a man like that?
I could never have faith in a man like Dario. That's why I've sent him and the Second Sons to retake Yunkai.
Without you there to rule Khaleesi, I fear the masters will simply bide their time, wait for the invaders to leave, and reassert control.
That is why I've ordered Dario to execute every master in Yunkai. They train little girls in the art of pleasuring old men. They treat men like beasts, as you said yourself.
Herding the masters into pens and slaughtering them by the thousands is also treating men like beasts. But there's good and evil on both sides in every war ever fought.
Let the priests argue over good and evil. Slavery is real.
I sold men into slavery, Khaleesi.
And now, you are helping me show them to freedom.
I wouldn't be here to help you if Ned Stark had done to me what you want to do to the masters of Yunkai.
The man who came to me the other day about burying his father.
His Ol Lorak.
He will accompany the Second Sons and serve as my ambassador to Yunkai. He will explain the choice they have before them. We'll go and catch Dario before he leaves. Tell him I changed my mind. Tell him you changed my mind.